Well, now it's Tuesday morning. We're back at the Green Wine Summit, and we're sipping coffee now. It's early morning, first interview of the day, and I have Trish Kinsella here from Dauphine Press, and they do amazing things. And one of their specialties is letterpress printing. So we'll just kind of get right into it. Trish, tell us what is this whole letterpress thing? What is that about, and what does that mean for the environment? What are some of the benefits of this printing?
Well, letterpress is the oldest form of printing. It goes back to Gutenberg, who hand-set, movable type to print the Bible. And the basic process has remained completely unchanged. It's still a relief printing process, and it fell out of common usage in the 1960s. Altogether in the 60s. It was really kind of starting to die out in the 1940s. And offset printing came into being, and now every morning when you open your mailbox, it's full of Pottery Barn catalogs and just a lot of mass market printed materials, which offset printing has made possible. Letterpress is having a huge resurgence right now. A really nice renaissance of all types of artisan printers from around the country and around the world who are finding these old presses, cleaning them up, getting them to work, and turning out really beautiful, artisan printing. And what makes it so special is the impression in the paper. It's very tactile.
Right.
And what gets the best impression is a cotton paper. So we work with different paper manufacturers to find the most appropriate papers for the jobs that we print. And primarily we work with Crane, who's developed 100% reclaimed cotton paper. So what we love about it is that we're using these old reclaimed machines. They're vintage. They're seen beautiful. A lot of different lives. They are amazing machines. They're from Germany. They were all built in the 1960s, so we have a very late model letterpress. And we're using very old technology, but we're using modern design that we come up with on our own. We have a design team who creates really beautiful and memorable pieces, so that when a client comes to us looking for something that's really special and really unique, we're able to deliver that both in terms of design as well as the printed product.
Right. So a lot, one of the things that we're talking about at the conference this week is, we're talking about technology like we're using here, but at the same time, especially with email and invitations and stuff, it's kind of overwhelming. And so when you want to make an impression, I know, for us as a firm, we've worked with you on several projects now, including the Green Wine Summit.
Right.
Beautiful Save the Date cards, but they really are. They're tactile, they're beautiful, but it really does make an impact when people touch it. It's like everybody's tossing out their emails, but when it's time to have some impact, your work is really great. And so number one, we're talking about the reuse of the machines.
Right.
And that's beautiful. And but we're also talking about they use only a small amount of ink, is it?
Less than a teaspoon on an average print run. To print the Green Wine Summit, Save the Dates, and the other pieces that went along with that, I'm estimating that we used less than 2 teaspoons of ink because the coverage was quite minimal.
That's amazing.
And we've been just recently certified as a Bay Area Green business, so we're very proud of that. And letterpress printing uses very few consumable supplies and no water. So typical offset printing uses a great deal of water to conduct the printing.
To get it printing.
Yeah.
And I also understand that when you're going through the process and you're doing the setup,
right,
to get the alignment on the paper, that you also use far less paper.
Maybe 10 sheets. Maybe
Right.
10 sheets of paper, to set a job up, which if you've ever been to a press check for a catalog or a book like I have,
Right.
they'll run the press for an hour to get it set up. And there's maybe, 80 pounds of paper that are wasted just setting up a big sheet-fed press.
So I can imagine after job after job after job how much paper that's using.
Yeah, I mean, it's very much, it's a time-consuming process. It's laborious and it requires a great deal of skill. It's a difficult thing to get right. But I've got really amazing pressmen who have, amazing attention to detail.
Right.
So it's very easy to produce letterpress printing. It's very difficult to produce technically excellent letterpress printing. And we really strive to make sure that the impression is appropriate, that the ink is even. I mean, there's a lot of technical aspects that go into it. So.
Right. Yeah, and really, again, I mean, one of the projects that we did with Dauphine was it was with the restaurant at Wente Vineyards with the Wente family.
Right.
And they had done some really wonderful update work in there inside the restaurant, and also had their new chef, and so we wanted to invite the media to come out, and we used Dauphine Press for that invite, and the response rate was tremendous. And one of the most amazing things is that in the RSVPs, we had 100% showing from the media. You know,
that's fantastic.
That's not typical.
Right, and I think that also speaks to what we refer to as the cherish factor about letterpress, and that's not something that you're going to be able to Google and read about. It's not in Wikipedia, but the cherish factor is really when you receive something that's memorable in the mail, or just given to you at a trade show or something like that, a beautifully printed sample is something that you hold on to.
Right.
And so what we really encourage our clients to do when they're thinking about which media to use in terms of getting their message out to their audience is, email's phenomenal. It's completely green, it's very cost effective, you can reach a lot of people in a very short amount of time. And it's especially important if it's a very time sensitive message that you need to get out, something that's going to happen and it's only going to be available for a very short amount of time. Digital is phenomenal. But if you really want to create a lasting and memorable impression, if the message warrants something a little bit more
timeless?
Yeah, timeless, and something that really needs to resonate with somebody in person, letterpress is a great choice.
It really is. So, just let's give them your website. So if anybody sees this video and they want to check you guys out, maybe spell it out for them.
Okay, we have two websites, Dauphine Press, DauphinePress.com, and also DauphineDesign.com, spelled the same way.
So you're doing a lot of design work too.
Absolutely. We're working a lot with businesses in and around the wine country who, are specialty niche businesses who really need to get their message across in a very poignant way, in a way that resonates. So, what I tell our clients is it's not about how much you send out. It's about really crafting very meaningful pieces. Pieces that are going to sit on your client's desk rather than get opened up and thrown in the recycling bin in the same moment that the envelope's open. And what we find with letterpress is that cherish factor always exists. You're creating something that's memorable, you're creating something that's special, and you're being very mindful of the resources that you're using when you choose letterpress printing.
That's great. Well, Trish, thanks for joining us today,
and
we'll see you on our panel later
Excited
today.
for that.
How about a little toast with
Chin,
the coffee?
chin.
Cheers.